Sometimes people ask me why I'm color coordinated, whether I'm specially color coordinated, because the socks and the clothes and the bag and the hat and everything is gray. They think it's kung fu master. Hold it. I don't care what they think. I am very proud to be Mu진스님.
A small town called Muiri is located at the ridge of beautiful Alps. People in this peaceful suburban town speak French and commute to nearby cities. It's where a Buddhist nun, Mujin, lives. Although she lives alone, she always cooks every meal for herself. From the exotic dishes from the East to the popular Western cuisine, her cooking has no boundaries.
This is Moiri's first double.
너무 잘 나왔다.
맛 보세요. 맛있다. Tofu is so delicious. For me, it's so delicious, but here, Swiss people don't like. 맛있다. Vegetarian pizza입니다. I'm a people are hungry cook. We have to cook.
Kimchi is served with pizza.
Modern style, eh? 가위하고 해요. 원명심 같은 스님들. 가위 하지 마세요. 칼 써야지. 뭐 어떻게 닿는지 몰라. 맛있다. I like simple food. And if I eat if I eat in a restaurant, for example, I don't know what's got into it. Also, if I use the amount of money that I use in a restaurant, I can buy the very best ingredients and make the very best food. And so I like to make my own food.
Her name was Senia Polunin before she became Mujin. She was born in Canada in 1949. Her father was an environmental ecologist and had to move around a lot, and she got to live in 12 countries when she was young.
I wanted to make a party for becoming Swiss. I've lived in Switzerland on and off for most of my life, and I like my village very much, and I like the people. So I decided to apply for Swiss nationality, and now I have received it. So I want to make a party to celebrate that. To celebrate the event of my becoming Swiss, I wish to invite you for an evening of a trying of traditional Korean temple food. And it seems stupid for me to make Swiss food. So I thought, why not I make some Korean traditional food? And actually, many of the people coming tonight have never eaten Korean food at all. But I didn't realize actually that I would worry so much about it. I'm really worried that it won't be good.
12 guests are invited to the party. Among them is Mary Noel, who is a baker.
Pour venir manger avec nous, on va faire un repas spécial samedi. Est-ce que tu penses que tu pourras venir avec ta fille?
Mais avec plaisir.
Ah, mais je suis contente parce que on veut vraiment que tu viennes. Ce jour-là, on va faire la nourriture traditionnelle de temple coréen. Qu'est-ce que tu penses? Ça va être comment? Qu'est-ce que ton idée, c'est comment?
J'ai aucune idée.
She doesn't know.
Aucune idée.
No idea. Ça me
Super, on est libre.
Ah, mais c'est bien. Alors,
excellent.
Alors, il y a tout le monde qui est
En
dans
2 jours.
Luma et d'Anaïs. Moi, je suis contente que vous venez.
I think very healthy, full of vegetables, rice, a little bit of meat. I don't know.
No meat.
No meat.
No
so
meat.
it's a wrong idea. And I cannot imagine the sweet. I don't have any idea of.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
It's a great opportunity to introduce Korean temple cuisine to her friends in Switzerland. So she got herself on the plane to Korea. This is how Mujin's journey has begun. Among the numerous temples, she visits Seongnam Temple first. She was ordained as a bhikkhuni, a Buddhist nun here in 1985, so it's like a home to her.
인사드리겠습니다. 안녕하십니까. 그래서 스위스 사람들한테 우리 사찰 음식 가르치고 싶은데
사찰은 전부 야채로 가지고 맛을 내기 때문에 참 어렵습니다. 잘 배워가지고 아주 세밀히 배워가지고 가르쳐줘야 돼요.
They head out to the field with Mujin, who is asking them to teach her cook. Their destination is Toraji, bellflower field that the nuns have tended.
아우 잘 나왔습니다. 너무 예쁘다. 보통 얼마 기다리세요? 키울 때?
3년 지나서 먹어요.
아 그래요? 어우 몰랐어요 나. 3년까지 얘기했어요. Look how beautiful this is. But I wouldn't like to clean it. Oh, such a big job cleaning it, here peeling it, and oh. This is really labor-intensive food, but then makes people healthy. In Europe now we are eating ready-made dishes which are not good.
The blanched bellflower root is seasoned to taste sweet and sour, and it's served with rice.
도라지 정과 알았습니다.
Bellflower root is known to be very effective in stopping cough, and it's good for respiratory ailment.
Really?
The whole group is back out again to collect mugwort.
나 처음 봤다 이거. 준비했습니다.
She was worried that it might be too tight for her, but it fits perfectly.
와 좋네. Wow, smells really nice. So fresh and beautiful.
Mugwort is good for women as it is known to warm the body, and it is also used as medicinal herb. The mugwort collected today is kept frozen so they can be eaten a year around. Most of the ingredients for temple food are collected in season and preserved to last for the rest of the year. Caragana seneca is also used as a medicinal herb.
예, 한번 먹어봅시다. 맛있어요? 이렇게 그냥 먹어요? Oh, it's so sweet. Oh, very nice. In Europe, we have flowers we could use for doing this also. I have to see which ones. Flower.
Caragana is a kind of legume and it's coated in flour and pan-fried. It warms up the body like mugwort and it prevents arthritis, which makes it very popular among the monks and nuns whose joints are often strained due to long prayer hours.
Oh, delicious. Oh, I never thought of making something like this with flowers. Very good.
Flowers are an important source of amino acid, vitamins, and minerals in the temple located in the remote mountainside. Every season, different flowers are used to make hwajeon, flower pancake. It reflects the philosophy of yin and yang.
이거 우리 아까 찾은 쑥? 네? 이거 fresh 쑥하고? This is real duck. A very, very special taste. It hasn't got any coloring, any flavoring in, nothing. Just absolutely natural. I have to try one with the sesame oil. Let me see what that tastes like. Much better with yeah.
The life and routine in the temple is very punctual. Every meal is served on fixed hours, and dinner is at 5 o'clock in the evening. Eating late by yourself is never allowed. In Switzerland, Mujin has conveniently lived by routines designed to fit herself alone. She is having a hard time with difficult dining manners that hasn't been part of her life for a long time. The temple food is frugal and simple. Only 4 side dishes are served with a bowl of rice. Its menu is strictly vegetarian without any kind of meat or fish.
Vegetarianism for me is a finer form of life. It's less offensive. One of the aims of a monk's life is to live as inoffensively as possible. Another reason for being a vegetarian is because as our vibration or our bodies become refined, our intuition becomes much stronger, much more pointed. And also, I personally feel that it makes us more ready and able to practice, to sit and to be aware of ourselves and to be aware of the things around us. It makes people much lighter, much finer in their reactions and in their general countenance. Some people think that when you eat only vegetarian food, you're going to be hungry and you have no energy. Do I look as if I'm hungry or have no energy?
At over 60, she has no trouble tracking up the mountain trail. Her destination is Baekheung Hermitage, 1,190 meters above sea level at the ridges of Palgong Mountain. Visitors are strictly prohibited here at Baekheung Hermitage, where 30 Buddhist nuns are on training. It shows the nuns' strong will to distance themselves away from any kind of worldly interferences. The temple was built in year 873 and has a history of 1,100 years. The traditional kitchen still looks like how it was centuries ago. They still cook rice in an iron pot on the furnace. When the rice comes to a boil, blazing embers are placed on top of the lid. It's a secret to cooking delicious rice in the cauldron.
Wow! 맛있겠다.
She suddenly feels the pangs of hunger.
맛있겠다. 배고파. Oh!
It was definitely worth the wait. Nurungji, the crust of overcooked rice, is so good it melts on Mujin's tongue.
맛있다. 맛있어요. Actually, in my temple, when I first saw this, one of the old nuns said to me, "You must eat nurungji, it's very nutritious." And I thought, nutritious? How can it be nutritious? It's the same as the rice, it's just rice and water. But then I realized it's cooked in an iron pot because the iron goes into the food and that keeps us from being anemic. So actually, they were quite right, this is nutritious. This roasted rice can be eaten in various ways. I'm going to cut it into pieces and we eat it like a biscuit. But it also can be boiled in water, and when it's boiled in water, then we drink it like a soup.
The basic ingredients of Korean food is soy sauce and doenjang. Doenjang is fermented soybean paste that's added to most of the Korean dishes. It tastes like Japanese miso, but with stronger flavor. It's known as one of the best health food that is effective in preventing cancer.
짜면서 달고
예.
맛있죠.
예. 맛있고.
예, 완전히.
근데 아주 짜요. 찜 이거 뭡니까?
아, 이거는 이제 간장,
예.
10년 된 간장 밑에 가라앉은 소금이에요. 이렇게.
어머나.
아주 결점체가 아주 이쁘죠.
이거 보석 같아.
그럼요.
너무 예쁘다.
간장에 그 검은색이 여기 이제 가라.
짜. 오, 이거 쉽지 않아요, 이거. 6, 7.
They put fragrant herb, the Japan pepper that was picked from the garden, to make marinade.
뭐가 부족한가? 맛이 어때요?
기름. 맛있어요, 스님.
맛있죠?
그래도 기름 더 넣어야지. JP 맛 아직 안 나와요.
A sheet of lever is folded twice and dipped in
네,
marinade.
아마 아주 좋아요.
이거는 옛날에 왕이 임금님이 먹었던 음식.
아, 그렇습니까? And then this kim, this lava, is then cut up into small pieces and eaten in the summer. because in Korea we like the lava very crispy, and in the summer it's very humid, and so we can't have the crispy lava in the summer, so we have this one all chopped up as one of the dishes. It's actually very labor intensive. And people don't know it. I think probably even ordinary people don't know. It's really a temple thing.
She was ordained at the age of 27, so she has lived as a Buddhist nun for 35 years. After studying educational psychology at the University of Geneva, she worked as a teacher for a while. It was a phrase from a Buddhist book that made her to join the Buddhism.
In the 60s, there were many people who were interested in Buddhism, and I remember buying many books about Buddhism. One book I read, and in that book I read one sentence: Buddhism is taking responsibility for yourself. And this I liked, because the idea for me that there's a God that is responsible for me, I could never accept. I want to be responsible for myself. So this was the main thing I think that made me become interested in studying Buddhism. So from the beginning I actually wanted to go to China, but China was not possible at that time. And so I thought I'll stay in Korea for a bit. Then I met some Koreans, and I felt that the Korean character is very similar to my own, so I should go to Korea. So I stayed. I thought maybe eventually I'll go to China, but it never happened. I stayed here.
Buddhist nuns should not be indifferent to changes that are taking place in the world just because you're a nun. She still needs her computer and her cell phone. She's a nun leading a so-called ultra-modern lifestyle.
Oh, very good, very good. I'll ring again soon. Bye. So this kind of thing is necessary today. It's necessary to keep in touch with people because that's our life today. We are human beings. When we go to the toilet, it smells just like everybody else. We are not some kind of ethereal, angelic beings. The Buddha would have adjusted. The Buddha would have had a telephone, definitely. He was a very modern man in his time.
In her pilgrimage of temple cuisine, she takes byway to do some shopping. A pair of socks is only $1 and the quality is good.
이 색, 여기 있는 색 이거. 이 색 좋아요. 이거 좀 진해서 보기 싫어요. 이거 같아요?
같아요. 괜찮아요.
이거 좋아요. 이거 색 좀 주세요.
It's a traditional outdoor market that is held every 5 days. It's filled with fresh vegetables from the garden and the fields. There is no other place to see so many things to eat and so many things to see. This old rice puff maker is hardly ever seen in the city anymore. Various grains are put in the iron container, and the container is heated and pressure is added as it gets spun by hand. These Korean-style rice puffs are very popular as diet food since no oil is added. They're Mujin's favorite snack. It's been a month since she left Switzerland to learn Korean temple food. The spring is coming to an end, and there are dishes that she has to learn before the spring is over. She hastens her steps.
스님 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 무진입니다. 반갑습니다.
Monk Dukche is a master of tea making. Tea is like monks' best friend as it helps them with meditation by clearing their heads and minds. The tea leaves must be picked in May before the spring ends.
These tea trees were probably planted a long time ago, and in between the bamboo grew up, and so it was very shady. And when Senia first came here, he started making tea about 4 years ago. He thought it was good to cut the bamboo so everything was in the sun. So he cut the bamboo. But the result is that he's found that the leaves are much smaller when they're in the sun. Like this leaf, for example. This leaf is very small and round. Whereas when you go below and you look when it's been in the shade, the leaves get very long, and apparently this is better tea. So the below leaves are long like this, and this makes the better tea actually. So he's now going to leave the bamboo to grow so all these wild tea bushes can be well sheltered and the leaves are big and long like this so the tea is more delicious. 그럼 많이 열심히 하세요, 어머니.
많이 해야지 하려면. 이렇게 처음에
어머나,
이렇게 하세요.
녹차.
예. 이렇게 빨리 하세요. 이렇게 빨리.
어머나.
자, 스님 한번 해보세요.
오, 갔으면 큰일 났어요. 나 못해요.
왜 못해요? 한 맛을 먹어.
안경 빼, 안경 빼.
안경 빼요?
예.
우와. 우와.
Wow, it's really hot. Incredibly hot. It's 250 degrees. And he says that if my sweat drops in, it'll make it much more delicious. Let's hope so, because it's incredibly hot and you've got to turn it quickly. Otherwise, it'll burn.
The tea leaves are roasted at 250 degrees Celsius. Then they are spreaded out evenly and rolled for about 10 minutes at room temperature. This labor-intensive procedure is repeated 9 times.
시원해야 돼.
주지스님.
예?
거의.
이제 거의 한 평균?
요 10분 이렇게.
예.
그 정도.
네, 그 정도.
I love tea, but I never imagined it was that hard to make. In Switzerland, of course, I can't make tea because we don't grow tea, but I've seen it in other countries, but I did not realize it was that difficult. From now on, whenever I drink tea, I know that it really represents a lot of work.
Being alone on the road, the warm and generous hearts of the country people cheer her up.
어이구, 감사합니다. 고맙습니다. 어이구, 맛있겠다.
아이고 정말 잘한다요.
그죠, 그래요.
A journey in search for Korean temple cuisine. It's accompanied by scorching heat. Her next destination is a Buddhist college where the young nuns study in strict discipline. 1,317 meters above sea level, she encounters cool refreshment deep in the valley. It's crystal clear natural bedrock water. Some say they revisit the temple for the taste of this cool, clear water.
아주 예뻐요. 물 얼마나 예쁜지. 안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까. 반갑습니다.
Cheongam Temple is a 4-year Buddhist college for the nuns. Currently, there are about 100 students studying here. Upon graduation, these nuns must honor additional 98 religious precepts than the male monks.
The main aim of the Kangwon is to take a young woman and to make her into a sinim, into a nun. A young woman is a person usually who's destined to get married because a woman has mainly feminine character, a man has mainly the masculine character. And when the two come together, they complete each other. But as we are celibates, we don't get married, we need to learn how to grow our masculine side so that we become a complete human being. And this also is part of the training. Not overtly, but covertly, little by little, the nuns learn how to be a complete being and how to help people to live a happy life. 아마 참기름 때문에 맛있어요. 다른 것 때문에 아니고.
이 감자도 억수로 맛있어요, 스님.
그래 왜? 미국 감자 아니에요?
아니요, 이거 우리 저기 청암사 감자예요.
우와, 아마 맛있겠다.
아이고, 조심하세요.
It's a special pizza made with potato dough instead of the flour dough. You can't taste it anywhere else but here in Cheongam Temple.
가끔 안 돼요. 가끔 돼요. 가끔 안 돼.
스님 이제는
예.
김치를 쓸게요.
그래요? 그 김치 들어가세요? 피자에?
예, 김치가 들어가야 느끼하잖아요. 근데
예.
김치가 칼칼한 맛을 내거든요. 그렇기 때문에 김치가
그래요?
들어가거든요. 예. 그렇기
아마
때문에.
이태리 사람들 안 좋을 거예요.
근데 좋을걸요?
그래요?
네. 채를 썰어주세요. 곱게.
Maybe we will introduce this to Italy sometime and see how Italians like kimchi pizza.
Cheongam Temple is where the young nuns study, so they have modified the food according to their taste.
깨소금.
쌤이 이거 자주 잡수세요 여기서?
지금 청암사는 어린이 법회를 해요. 그러니까 어린이 아이들이 밖에 음식 피자를 좋아하잖아요. 그래서 생각했던 부분이 이런 부분이고 또 스님들도 너무나 좋아하니까 그래서 이렇게 이거 만들게 된 거죠.
예쁘지? 예뻐요. 이태리 피자 빵하고 만든 거.
그래서 빵 받쳐갖고요.
그래도 스위스에 우리 이렇게 감자하고 만들어요.
The midsummer day in the mountain is hot yet brightly clear. Today's menu is bean noodles. Nuns love cold noodles with soya bean milk soup, all-time favorite dish that cools the scorching heat. The nuns had told her not to lift a heavy pot, but Mujin insisted she helps out.
She went down and she doesn't look at me.
Now she feels bad for causing them more work.
늙어서 젊은 사람 아닌데 다리 못 어떻게 팔이 넣는지 못 보고 스님 빨리 나오세요.
She's lucky that she didn't break a leg. They make fire in the midsummer heat. Every corner of life here portrays the life of the old days. It's great to learn the traditional recipes, but she can't keep her eyes open because of the smoke.
스모크 너무 많아서.
When the furnace comes to the right temperature, they add the beans to boil.
쌤 넣으세요.
네, 조금 더워요.
조금 더워요.
지금은 더운데요. 아니 여름에 불 앞에 있으면서 안 덥다고 하면
겨울에 얼마나 좋은지요.
겨울에는 굉장히 좋고요. 근데 땀 흘리고 나면 굉장히 시원해요.
And for me, this is hot. But they are cooking here 3 times a day, even in the summer, even up to 30 degrees outside. They are cooking here, and it must be so hot. For me, just a short time is too hot.
와.
Beans are a very important source of protein for vegetarian nuns. The sweet smell of beans fills the air. Mujin sneakily takes a piece of bean and puts it in her mouth.
너무 맛있어요.
They carefully remove the skin of the boiled beans. They believe taste comes from effort. They're cooking for 100 people. If something goes wrong, they will have bad meal, or in worst case, miss their meal entirely. It's a big responsibility, and they invest time and effort in cooking every meal. Their hands move swiftly, as they also have to serve it right on time.
Wow, it looks so delicious. Now finally we made it.
So actually, this is my favorite, one of my favorite Korean dishes. So I'm very glad to make it today.
How delighted she is. The cold bean noodle makes her day.
스님 맛있어요.
completely different from the way I make it. The taste is completely different. Just by a different method of cooking. Interesting.
She reviews what she has learned. Along with the recipe, she meticulously takes a note on how the delicate touch and effort was put into the cooking.
예. 예, 감사합니다. 감사합니다, 스님.
A mosquito net in a temple?
방콕에 사서 문 못 열어서 모기 많아서 그래서 모기장 해놨어요. 여기 모기장 밑에 자야지.
Mujin spends her last night in Cheongam Temple inside the mosquito net.
이렇게. 이렇게. 요 걸어놨고 이거 조금 안 나빠서 너 여기 괜찮아. 여기 앉아도 돼.
The next day, it starts to rain. After a strong shower, Mujin heads for the historical city of Gyeongju. Many tourists visit this ancient capital of Silla dynasty for its historical heritage and beautiful nature. Kolgul Temple is famous for monks who are martial art masters, and it's a very popular temple among Westerners who come for a temple stay. After the demonstration of martial art masters, it's time for the visitors to try it themselves. But it doesn't look easy at all. When she was young, she was as flexible as a yoga instructor. But now she has gotten older and put on more weight. Her body doesn't move as she wants it to.
I don't think I can do that.
둘, 셋, 다 같이.
못 일어나요.
넷.
그냥 보고. Catch your foot, your stretched foot out, and then just put the other arm over and touch the other foot.
One thing everyone who has joined the temple stay must learn is the monk's dining manner called paru gongyang. They are served 4 bowls for rice, soup, side dishes, and water. They put the food in their bowls and eat in complete silence. Not a word is permitted during the meal. They must focus on the food and the action of eating itself to enjoy the food's taste, smell, and texture to the fullest. This ritualistic dining manner will also clear their minds and awareness. The most uncomfortable step of this ritual is when they have to put water in bowls and drink every bit of food that's left in the bowl. It feels like drinking dirty dishwashing water, but by doing this, they're not wasting a single grain of rice and conserve water at the same time.
You know, imagine we are, I don't know, 35, 40 people here. Imagine how much washing up that is. It's all done. It's gone. It's very economical from the work point of view, and also from we use very little water, we haven't wasted anything. Huh? It's a bit strange the first time you clean out the bowl and then drink up the last little bits. But somebody said to me the other day, oh, that's so disgusting. But this is the food we just ate. So you become conscious how much we've eaten, how much we need.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mujin is heading towards her final destination of her journey.
오랜만입니다.
반갑습니다.
나도 반가워요, 스님.
이 더운데
맞아요.
찾아주셔서
is-
감사합니다.
This is Tae Snim, my very close friend here in Korea. I come here every time I come to Korea. I love to come here, particularly because she's a very good cook and knows all about Korean food.
Nun Tehe and Mujin are the same age, and they get along like best friends.
이거?
우리 쓰는 거 이만큼. 심, 이거 왜 이렇게 커요? 우리 유럽에 이만큼 거.
이거 옛날에는 가족이 많았잖아요. 대가족.
예.
그래서 이렇게 크게 해야 한 끼를 먹거든요.
Tehe cooks red bean noodles for a friend from a faraway land. The way she makes it is quite unique.
이거 힘 있어요? 이렇게 할 때?
힘 주면 안 돼요.
힘 안 돼요?
네.
그냥 계속.
네. 옳지. 그렇게요. 예.
아, 재밌다.
재밌어요?
부드러워요. 지금 아주 부드러워요.
네.
It's the best way to make noodles for a big family of more than 10 people. The noodle is ready to be cooked when they're cut into thin strips. The noodles are boiled in the red bean soup.
The monks and nuns eat the red bean soup sometimes in the summer even because our food is quite lacking in energy-giving food because we don't eat any meat, we don't eat any fish, we don't eat any eggs, and so red beans are very full of nutrition and very nutritious, so they're very good for us.
맛있다.
Yeah, it's delicious. A bit unusual for Europeans, but delicious.
She has hard time putting on the suit.
왜 웃어요? It's not funny, huh?
다이어트 하셔야 되겠어.
아이고 궁디 억수로 크다. 이거 왜 이기고?
She was told to gather some lotus leaves for a special dish.
꺾어세요, 차게. 좀 줘. Such beautiful leaves, look. So gorgeous. Oh.
The rubber boots get stuck in the marshy ground, and it's hard to take another step. The most beautiful flower growing in the mud reflects the spirit of Buddhism.
I'm so hot because these clothes are made of rubber. 이거 큰일이야. 스님 왜 안 타요?
나 옷이 없어서 못 들어가요.
왜 이 옷 빌려줄게.
신입이 다 하세요, 엄마.
그래도 재밌어요. 나 처음이야.
They cook rice and other mixed grains together and wrap it with lotus leaves. It's a special recipe.
여름에 연잎에 싸면
예.
이게 잘 쉬질 않아요.
그래요?
예. 그래서 여름에 이렇게 해 먹으면 그냥 냉장고 안 넣어도 잘 안 쉬어요.
그래요.
In the old days, people took lotus leaf wrapped rice for a long journey.
Some people might think that the style of preparing food done in the temple is not suitable for city dwellers of today. However, if you think about it, it's a different way of preparing food, and some of those ideas can be introduced into one's daily diet to improve our own food. You might think that it's an advertisement to go to the temple. Please do. Please go to one of the temples and try the food and take back some of the ideas with you and start preparing your food in a different way.
좋은 거, 안 좋은 것도 좋아해.
맛있어요, 스님?
네, 이름 맛있어요. 연한이 번 이렇게 싸 먹으면 좋아요, 이게. 맛있어요. 네.
맛있죠?
또 맛있어요? 아이고 더운데.
너무 감사합니다.
예,
너무
가시고
예.
가셔서 또 오세요.
예, 스님. 건강하세요, 스님.
예, 잘 가십시오.
예, 안녕히 계세요.
예, 스님
스위스 가서 배운 거 잘 하세요. 연밥하고 잘 하세요. 예. 잘 가세요.
Now she's on her way back home to Switzerland. Mujin's 3-month-long journey into the world of Korean temple food ends here in Paeknyeon Temple. Two days before the party, she goes to the market. But wait, she's in trouble. There are so many ingredients she can't find.
아이, 다시마 없어요. 아침에 갑자기 생각해서. Alors je prends 3 choux s'il vous plaît. 배추하고 무 없어요. 무 슈퍼 가야지. 이거밖에 없어요. 똑같아 어제 샀는 거. This kind of radish here, not the big fat Korean radishes. So we'll have to make do with this.
After buying only a single radish, she goes to a Korean restaurant.
미나리전 하나 만들고 싶어서 미나리 어디 살 수 있는지 물어보고 싶어서.
근데 미나리가 여기는 못 구하거든요.
그래서 여기서 미나리 없으면 무슨 전 하세요?
저희는 해물파전이랑 부추전이거든요. 절에서 부추랑
파전도 안 돼요. 아, 그래서 어떻게 해야지?
베트남 가게 가셔서 한번 다시.
베트남 가게 어디 있어요?
베트남 가게 저기.
여기 두 번째 그거 스리랑카. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. C'est ça que je cherche. Merci beaucoup.
They keep telling her to try different places.
부산한 무진.
At last, she finds it.
Oh, finally I found it. This is actually very much like minari, this vegetable in Korea, and I can make the jeon with this. It's quite soft and quite tasty. Oh, but how difficult to find.
Epinard is a vegetable that resembles water parsley. That evening, Mujin gets to work to make kimchi.
오, 이거 딱 맞아요. 지금 잘 됐어요. 근데 소금, 감자 하나도 없어요.
She claims that she's being creative, but it doesn't look anything like kimchi.
This is the first time in my life I ever made kimchi, so no comment, please.
This is Western cabbage kimchi, so this is for the West. So we're in the West. So this is right for here.
The next morning, the first thing Mujin makes is doenjang sauce.
스위스 사람 조금 된장 먹으면 좋겠어요. 그 여기 사람도 미소만 알아요. 된장 몰라요. 그래서 한번 우리 한국 미소 한 거 조금 먹으면 좋겠다.
Oh, success one.
Thanks to the iron pot brought from Korea, nurumji is a big success too.
Ta-da! It's nearly successful, not terribly. It could be a bit browner. 조금 brown. 이게 너무 예뻐요. 이거 봐.
The cucumber kimchi looks a bit messy. She makes pancake with epinard she bought at the Vietnamese store.
Of course, I would like it to be really proper, correct, and exactly the same, but it's impossible. So I've done my best to make the food as exactly like the temple food as possible. It's not. It's very different. But I hope that they will just have a nice experience of something completely different, something they have never had before.
The 5-color pancake is made with rice, powder, pumpkin, blueberry, beet, saffron, and mugwort powder. They will be served with honey as dessert. Finally, the Feast of Korean Temple Cuisine is ready.
The rice, of course, everybody knows. But apart from that, nobody has any idea of anything. So they will get a chance to step into another culture, and it's going to be interesting to see how they behave. It'll be a good experience for them. They will never forget it. Never.
The guests start to arrive. She gave out 12 invitations and 16 people showed up, including kids.
Oh, merci beaucoup, ma belle. Alors, c'est la nourriture de temple traditionnelle coréenne. Normalement, on ne mange pas comme ça tous les jours, mais ça, c'est la façon dont on fait la nourriture. Toute la famille, alors sans poireaux et tout ça, toute la famille d'oignons, il n'y en a pas dedans. Et c'est que des légumes et des choses de légumes. Hein. Regarde.
They've never tried anything like this before. Mary Noel, the baker, starts by learning how to use chopsticks. Mujin was a bit concerned that there was no meat dish being served because people in Switzerland really like meat. But it was clear that she had nothing to worry about. Everyone finished all their food, including japchae and spinach doenjang soup.
It's very good. It was really incredible. I never eat something like this.
One way in which I feel that I can be useful is to introduce people to different cultures, introduce Koreans to Western culture. We used to take people for fondue in Seoul, to take Swiss people and to give them Korean food. With the Korean food, they ask questions, they begin to wonder about the culture, and in this way they learn about Korea and so become more open too.
What do you like about it? What do you like best?
I like best that there is no onion and no garlic inside. Mm-hmm. Especially for the evening, it's very good to digest. Mm-hmm. Then also no dairy food is also very healthy. I love it.
Je trouve bon tous les goûts. Par contre, je trouve que le dessert, ça fait lourd après.
C'est lourd?
Ouais, après, c'est ce qu'on a mangé.
Ah ouais? Oh, mais c'est intéressant.
The Swiss learn about the Korean temple food through Mujin. It's something quite unfamiliar to them, but over tea and Korean sweets, they learn to embrace the culture of a distant land.
When we have a chance to experience other cultures, this opens our mind and our heart to each other. And in this way, we can understand each other better. And through understanding each other better, we become ourselves more open, our hearts become softer, we are more able to understand the world and life as it is. So when I begin to understand that life is the way it is, and I begin to accept and adjust to things the way they are, in that way, my life becomes much richer and much happier, because that is the way things are. And this I learned through the Buddha's teaching.
Okay, Chibi, what would you like? Would you like to take some of the kimchi? Would you like to take some biscuits?
This one. This.
Okay, take that. And take that one, good. Alors, je te donne un peu des gâteaux. Voilà, des gâteaux. Est-ce que tu aimeras aussi un peu de ces galettes comme ça? Oui. Et puis aussi du tofu. Comme ça, vous avez le repas pour demain. Des biscuits.
Her hands are full with bags of food. She can probably eat them for days. Everyone enjoyed the meal and had a good time.
Au revoir. Bye.
Bye.
Ragazzi, 진짜 너무 피곤해. 너무 피곤해요. 지금 쉬어야지. 그래도 잘 됐어요. 괜찮아요. 난 지금 피곤해. I'm tired now. I want to rest.
And now, The party Mujin has prepared for 3 months came to an end.